never knew another way. Drown me in your emotion. You're making no sense at all. My mind. Tell me your silly notion. You're making no sense at all.
All right.
We're cooking.
Yeah, what's happening?
Mate, really awesome to have you here. And yeah, it's all good in my world, mate. How's it going over there?
Yeah,
in
it's all
Perth?
it's all good. Great. Everything is super up here too. Canada, they're fantastic. Australia.
Mate, just trying to block it all out, you know.
I see you had my friend Campbell on a bunch of times.
Yeah, man, he's a legend.
Yeah, so that Tataria stuff is so amazing, and it all ties into flat Earth. It's all about the flat Earth.
Exactly, mate. And people always say, "What's it matter?"
Yeah, what's the matter? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter that you're lost in space, spinning out of control. Doesn't matter.
No. And well, mate, just a quick intro for everyone. We'll get right into it. As I said, so good to have you here. I've watched a lot of your stuff. I've listened to heaps of your podcasts, mate. I'm very familiar with your work and your presentations.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, mate. And I think that you are one of the best at presenting this stuff, mate, and doing it in such a way that makes me proud to be a geocentrist, mate. And you are the creator of the Flat Earth app, the creator of the Flat Earth app. You can purchase on most platforms, isn't it, mate? It's available.
Google Play, and the Apple App Store.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to show anyone who's questioning. We often use it, mate. My son, or all my kids, are geocentrists. And my 19-year-old boy, he's always on your app, mate. And what a creation, you know. It's fantastic. Really shows people
I appreciate that. Are you using the friend finder on it? Have you used it to contact people near you?
Yeah, mate, we've had a few. There's not too many on the sunny coast. There's a handful. But yeah, we've had a couple of people sort of said, do you want to catch up for meets and stuff? I've just had I've got a 10-week-old bubba at the moment, so my head's right in that at the moment. But
Sure.
Yeah, what a great.
I was just on a podcast, and the host said he met his girlfriend on my app.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's people that have already gotten married that have met on the app. It's bringing people together. And I'm accused, you're getting on. The recent accusation was you go on every show to shill your app. Well, yes, I do. Absolutely. Because it is the best tool for waking new people up, because you can't Google flat Earth.
No.
You Google flat Earth, you get nonsense. You get garbage. You get propaganda.
Correct, mate. And that's why, as we know, Obama was there leading people to the Flat Earth Society, in a lot of his speeches. Like, why the hell would, if it's such a ridiculous thing, they go to the trouble in mentioning several times in speeches, this is not a meeting for the Flat Earth Society.
Right.
Yeah, and what's that about, mate? Maybe you could explain a little bit better why they do that.
Well, the Flat Earth Society is controlled opposition. It's a place where if you go there, there's a tiny bit of truth and a bunch of nonsense. And basically, if you go there, you walk away, you go, flat earthers are dumb. I never need to watch a single flat Earth video because they're dumb. It's stupid. They think the Earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second to cause gravity, but that doesn't make any sense. And they show you the the disc in space with water falling off the edge. It's nonsense. I think possibly the Flat Earth Society was a group of real flat earthers when it first started. But then the guy died and the government took it over. They're like, well, we'll just co-opt this and we'll just steer everybody down a dead end road. Right now on Google Play, if you look for my app, I'm getting a lot of reports that people can't find it. They could find another one with the same name that brings you to Wolfie videos and nonsense videos, and it's made by the same type of people. It's called the Ron Media Group. So make sure when you look for my app, it's by Blue Water Bay. The best way, if you're not just scanning this QR code, flatearthdave.com, all the links are there to all my stuff.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, we don't want anyone getting the wrong one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We don't need any more people led astray. Jeez, and that's exactly, why go to all this trouble, mate, if it's such a ridiculous thing. And, mate, I really wanted to go through, you're the man to show people how ridiculous this thing is, mate. And I'd love to run through some of your, your points, because it's just undeniable when you, like, one of the things that you talk about, like, really you bring up really well, is Alpha Centauri. This the closest star apparently, and if we traveled 3,600 miles per hour or something,
a mile per second, right? Can you imagine going a mile per second? And
no.
and you're a flat earther, so you'll be able to do this. If you're going 1 mile per second for 100 seconds, how many miles have you gone?
Yeah, well, 100.
Yeah, Globers can't do that math, by the way.
Yep.
I mean, you did a cough drop, sorry. And so if you go for 1,000 seconds, you've gone 1,000 miles. If you've gone for 1 trillion seconds, you've gone 1 trillion miles.
Yeah.
Okay. People go trillion, billion. What's the difference? Oh, there's a difference. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. Okay. Being a flat earther, I don't even know if 31,000 years exists. I don't know. I don't think the earth has been here that long, nearly that long. So 31,000 years at a mile per second, you're 1/25th of the way to the closest star. And the other ones are magnitudes beyond that. Game over. Game over. Shut the box. It's over.
Yeah, and there's just hundreds of proofs, mate. And it just goes on.
I think being able to see Alpha Centauri, the closest star, is equivalent to being able to see a basketball on the moon with your naked eye.
Yeah.
I think it's equivalent to that. I haven't done the math, but probably pretty close.
Yeah, and mate, like, our eyes can only see so far, and we're led to believe that we're looking at things like so far away. It's ludicrous.
Light. The other thing is light only travels so far. We're told that light can travel forever.
Correct.
If I turned off all the lights in this room, you wouldn't see me because there's no light bouncing off of me. You can't see Mount Canigou because the light that's bouncing off of it can't travel all the way to your eye because the air is too thick. That light isn't bright enough to push through even on a clear day. But on a day where the sun lines up with Mount Canigou, all of a sudden it backlights it, and the sun's light is strong enough to push 175 miles. And then the top of Mount Canigou, according to Globe Math, from this viewing spot, should be over a mile below the curvature. But do you know why we can see it? Can you be the baller and give me the answer?
Oh, well, mate, it's just the curvature. It's the earth.
It's actually, it's below the curve. The sun is already set, but it's refracting up and stopping at eye level just for my convenience, so I can imagine I'm seeing it.
And mate, not only that, one thing I've always thought about these buildings, even if you could see them, they should be pointing away, like at an angle too. If they're on a ball, and they're always 100, vertical.
Well, the argument for that is it's such a little tilt that you wouldn't be able to see it. I might have to agree with the baller there, but It's all ridiculous. The fact that you're upside down, our feet are facing each other. You're standing this way, and I'm standing this way. Okay,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, mate. Gravity, that's a great one. That's one thing that the globies parrot straight away. Well, it's like their go-to answer, and it's great being a geocentrist, mate, because we know we've got the pencil case open with the answers in it. We know what they're going to say before.
So now you and I could argue this cruise ship is in Australia, and you'd be like, no, this cruise ship is in America because it wouldn't be upside down for you, but it's upside down for me. So is it Australia or America?
Well, it's got to be Australia, mate, because it's upside down.
Oh, fucking your beard proves you're not upside down.
Oh, that's it. Oh, mate, I love it. Butterflies just traveling freely and helium balloons escaping this gravity. It has nothing to do with density and buoyancy.
No. They say that, the Cavendish experiment, with the two balls in the barn. You familiar with that?
The two balls in the...
They prove gravity by getting two lead balls like this big, ooh, gigantic, and the masses of them, and they were hanging on like balancing sticks, and they went towards each other. Okay. And that proves that there's gravity. Those lead balls have enough gravity to attract each other. Couldn't be any electrostatics, magnetism, nothing like that. Wind, twisted wire. If that was true, hanging a plumb bob near a mountain like Mount Everest, it should go a little sideways towards the mountain. It doesn't. If you and I held a plumb bob, anybody on the side of Mount Everest, anywhere, they're all going to point dead down. That's it. Down is down, up is up, left and right, forward and back are depends on which way you're facing, but up is up, down is down.
And mate, just for any of the people watching, like a lot of like you said before, the flat Earth that people have presented, or the geocentric Earth that the people have presented, it's always presented in a ludicrous way. We know that, well, we actually don't know what's beyond this thing above us, and we don't know what's beyond the South Pole. But
I don't like saying the South Pole because I don't believe there is a South Pole. South is every direction.
That's good.
Away from the center.
Yes, good. Yep.
Is there more land beyond Antarctica? We live here. This is Antarctica. Maybe there's extra territory out here. And then there's another southern land. And then there's extra territory out here. Maybe all these continents are out there.
Well, it seems to make sense to me. Admiral Byrd, you can still find on YouTube. So yeah.
Isn't it funny he has a clock behind him over a flat Earth map during this interview?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Interesting.
So cool, mate. So much to talk about now. Yeah, we've got so many cool proofs. Like we've just spoke about the distance, with the Alpha Centauri. Mate, I guess what's cool is trying to get to explain to people how things work. A lot of the times, like before we get into proofs, and then sometimes the proofs can sort of, once they get the model in their head, what we're talking about, I think it helps a lot more. So one thing your app does really well, mate, is explain seasons. Perhaps you could demonstrate and explain how seasons work on the geocentric model.
Sure, I'll show it. But let me give people that don't know, but anyone that does know, you're gonna understand what this is right away. If you and I, where are you in Australia?
I'm in Koroi, a little regional town, mate, near Noosa in Queensland.
Does it snow there?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah.
And the reason is because look at Australia. It's close to the tropics. It's not that far. You're half in the tropics. Half of Australia is in the tropics. The tropics is the zone between this outer yellow line and the inner yellow line, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Anything in between the tropics, the sun is always pretty darn close to you. It never moves far away. Outside of the tropics, we'll call that the Antarctic area. And inside the Tropic of Cancer, we'll call that the Arctic area. So if you came to visit me here up in Connecticut, it's freezing. There's snow on the ground and water freezes when you put it outside, if you didn't know. If we were sitting outside, you'd be freezing, screaming at me, but we're sitting outside, we're 20 feet apart. And if somebody held, excuse me, it's my third interview and I've totally lost my voice.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So, a good cough.
So if somebody held a nice big heat lamp over you, 10 feet over your head, okay, it's up there. It's high in the sky. It's like the sun in December for you. All right. It's high in the sky. It goes right over you. For me, you're 15 feet over there. I see it lower in the sky, farther away. I can barely feel it. And now if the person walked over to me with it, didn't change the height, I would watch it get higher and higher and higher until it was over me. That's my summer sun. You'd look at it, it's low in the sky. It's farther away. It's your summer sun. So, here we go. So I'll turn this. There we go. I got it going all different ways here. So the sun migrates in between the tropics. The outer one is the Tropic of Capricorn, and it's moving away from you since December 21st. It's been getting colder there, right?
Yep.
And let me just jump forward. February, March, April, May, June. So in June, it's as far away from you as possible. That's the dead of your winter. Okay. People in southern Australia are colder than people in northern Australia, right?
Yep.
Because they're farther from the sun. I'm up here near New York and the sun is close to me. Miami, Florida is really hot because the sun goes right over them. And then 6 months later, the sun will move out to the Tropic of Capricorn and it's your summer again. Just like that heat lamp comes right over you. That's simple. The whole tilted Earth thing. Think about this. So here's the Earth, here's the axis. I can tilt the Earth this way, right?
23.4 degrees.
Yeah. Or 66.6.
Or 60. That's just crazy.
So, so here's the sun and here's the equator, right? And I could tilt the sun, I could tilt it away. So now the lower southern's getting direct sunlight and the top is spread out. And then 6 months later, when we're over here, the north is getting direct sunlight. That's what they tell us. Okay. What we have to remember is if you're a person on this ball, the spin is also a tilt. You're spinning away. So if I'm standing here and I spin away, the sun's way down over here now. It's the same thing. I can tilt this in any direction I want. Drop the Earth. We're all dead. So in the summer, here in the north, in the heliocentric model, the sun is, according to helio nonsense, is 3.5 million miles farther away than it is during my summer. Okay. During my winter, right? So in the summer, when I see the sun on the horizon, it's farther away. I can feel the heat on my face. I can get a tan. I could lay down. Okay. In the winter, at noon, when the sun is at the highest point, a much more direct angle and closer to me, I can't even feel the heat on my face. Things are freezing outside. Okay. Here's the problem. Globers who haven't worked their brain to actually think about things can't figure out that simple thing I just explained. They don't get it. They short circuit. We've been brainwashed not to be able to think like that. Simple things. Like I was on a Glober show the other day and I'm trying to explain the mile, you're going a mile per second. You go 100 seconds. How many miles have you gone? They couldn't figure it out. Then I told them the answer. How about 1,000 seconds? How far have you gone? They couldn't figure it out. Right. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Okay. But the whole tilting thing, nonsense. The earth is thermal. So it's like if I had a heat, you can do this experiment yourself. Get something, a chunk of something that'll retain heat, and take a heat lamp and go around a few times, and you'll see that it gets warmer and warmer and warmer, even though the sun, you're not making it farther away. It's because it's retaining the heat. That's why here so where you are, December, January is probably hotter than November, right?
Yeah, January, February is probably the hottest time
Yeah,
here.
but January and February, the sun is already moving away from you. The sun is already moving away from you. Okay.
Yep.
And November, it should be about the same as January, but the thing is, it hasn't heated up. So December, it's heated up. So no, December, then then January, it's already moving away. It's still heating up. February, it's moving away, but it's still adding more heat cumulatively every day. And then all of a sudden, March, it's like, oh, it's getting kind of far away. So now you're losing heat every day.
Yeah, that's
April,
great.
May, it's losing heat. It's losing heat, right? So it adds. I actually made this cool chart, and I did the table. I got to make a chart, but it shows why the days on the opposites, December is the closest the sun gets to you, December 21st. When it's moving away, though, it's still adding heat, versus when it was adding heat before, it didn't accumulate as much. I got to figure out a graphical way to show that.
Yeah, that's really cool, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yes, it's basically a big clock we're on, mate.
It certainly is.
And 24 hours, that seems it was put there to confuse the sheeple, do you think, mate?
Well, they gave us, they gave us clocks, but they're like, hey, let's make it go around twice a day so they don't figure it out. So they don't figure it out. I mean, it's like I used to, like 24-hour. I'm like, oh, 24-hour clock is stupid, right? No, it's not stupid. It is the way it is. It's where the sun is. And here's the thing: a lot of people go, this map, I don't think that the Gleason's map is the right map. I think the Gleason's map is exactly the right map. I mean, it's as close as we're going to get. And I think Australia is as big as it shows on the Gleason map. Okay. They're lying to us on so many different levels that, we're just following. Oh, GPS says this. Well, GPS is by NASA. NASA controls GPS. And we all know about NASA.
But the ground positioning system.
Yeah. So I've done this where, like, the sun's right over here. I call my friend PK in Sydney and I go, where's the sun and what time is it? He goes, it's noon and it's right over my head. Right. I'm like, and so I call somebody on the west side of Australia and it's noon when the sun is there. And so no matter where the sun is, and I want everyone to do this, get the app. And so if I stop the app right now, go back to our normal time. It is early morning for you. The sun is approaching. It's probably like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, man. 20 past 10. Yep.
Yeah. And if I turn on the time zones, there it is. You're on the east side of Australia.
Yep.
A little bit,
and,
right?
And mate, really cool. I was working outdoors for about 6 months recently, and I was using the sun to tell the time all the day. Like I'd work out. I could work out when my lunch break was. I knew when the afternoon lunch break was, because you'd see it coming up at 5 or 6 in the morning, because I started early. By 9 o'clock, I'd sort of go, it's halfway between here and over my head. And you can sort of, so it's great. You can get out there and do this yourself.
We're supposed to get up with the sun and settle down when the sun goes away. And they screw us up. Do you guys have daylight savings time there where they change the clocks? That's just to mess us up. I mean, daylight savings time, the story is that the farmers needed more time in the field. That's like, hey, I've got a quilt and my feet are cold, so I'm going to cut a foot off the top and sew it onto the bottom. Okay. Yeah, that's what daylight savings time is. It's the dumbest crap ever. Right. And I think it's to throw off our body clocks. There used to be 13 months of 28 days, and now there's 12 months of random days. It's literally they've hijacked our calendar.
And the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And that's great. Like you said, Tartaria all ties in with it all.
Right.
And mate, when it comes to this, like looking at this model behind me, we're looking at these stars in the sky, which I look at every single night, you know. And one of the things that is fascinating is that we're supposed to be spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, while we travel around the sun at 66.6 thousand miles an hour, 666. The sun's traveling at 440,000 miles an hour, and we can see the same stars every night.
Yeah, we're going 4.4 billion miles through a friggin' beehive of stars every year, and the stars never change. They change over the course of a year, and that's because of the way the stars, the sun laps the stars, or the stars lap the sun. Well, I'll look at that in a second. This is a turtle. I find this very interesting. It's got 13 tiles, and then it's got 28 around the outside. Interesting. 13 months of 28 days.
Well, yeah, that's cool. But we got 12 vertebrae.
That too.
You know,
all of this stuff. We're all part of this system. So, what were we just talking about? You asked me, spaced out.
With reference to the stars, mate, like the
yeah.
forces that are upon us, and we see the same stars every night.
Yeah, so the stars outrun the sun once a year. So at nighttime, so I'll stop this. So at nighttime, the stars I see will be in the, will be where they are. But a year later, these stars right here that I see right now will be over here. So I won't be able to see them at night. And that's why you see different stars than I see, because I see the stars that are near me. You see the stars that are near you.
Yeah.
It's like in a long hallway, the lights at the far end of the hallway are over your head, not over my head. I can't see them. They merge with the floor.
And
you know what proves flat Earth? Everything proves flat Earth.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. That's it, mate. I just laugh at, like, even like you just go quickly, like geocentrics, geometry, geology, like just everything. It's like, and then obviously we can get into the proofs. But it's so funny, mate. People's, like you said, their brains can't digest this information. It's like the short circuit, or the circuit's not.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand it. Here's something to think about. So on a globe here, let me find a picture of a globe here. So here's we'll go with the blue marble. All right.
Nice painting.
Yeah, of course. Nice painting. You want to see a really nice painting? This is a nice painting. This is actually a painting. Okay. So my question to you is, if you were if I was hiring you to paint me a picture, and I want it to look either exactly like this, you have a canvas, paints, and a brush. I want it to look exactly like this, or I want it to look like this. Which one would you charge me more for? Which one would be easier to paint?
Well, we know the answer to that question.
It's so ridiculous. So here's the equator. Northern hemisphere is on the top. Southern hemisphere is on the bottom. You can pick any two locations in the north. Would a plane ever need to cross the equator? to get to them. Any two locations.
No, you wouldn't think so, would it?
No, well, never, without exception, would a plane have to go into the southern hemisphere to get from one northern location to another. And guess what? All the flights prove that. None of them ever cross the equator. Okay? Think about this. So on the bottom half of the ball, where the planes fly upside down and the water sticks to the ball, if you're going from a southern location to another southern location, the same thing should apply. You should never have to cross the equator.
No,
With
that's
me?
correct.
Right? But
Yep.
the problem is, you know what the problem is. The problem is these southern flights always cross the equator, right? It goes all the way up here and then all the way down. But on a flat earth map, look, bam, cross the equator twice. Why don't northern locations to northern locations ever cross the equator? Because it very much is similar to the ball. The problem is when you get to the south, you have these problems where you're constantly crossing the equator. Okay, Johannesburg to Amsterdam. That's Johannesburg to what is that?
Mm.
Can't say it. Whatever it is, I can't say it. It's behind the thing. So it goes all the way up, crosses the equator, and all the way down. Right? This is crazy. This isn't even that good of a one because it's not that straight of a route. But again, why did they go all the way up to Seattle and then down here when this is probably even shorter? Because on a flat Earth, straight line, bam, bam.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of emergency flights that you've talked about, Dave, where it's 100% proves we're
Yeah,
living.
this book is free online as a PDF, or you can buy it. I highly recommend it. It's available in the app. If you want a good coffee table book that, like, hey, you have some guests over for dinner, they happen to pick up the book, bam, they're flat earthers. Okay, because you can't look at that and go, huh, that doesn't make any sense. You know, if you actually look, you know, there's actually more than 16 now because he documented another one since he made the book, but every single one of them has the same problem. Like this one went out of the way, landed in Moscow, but why did it do that? Moscow is right on the path from the origin to the destination. Emergency, lands in Moscow. How about this one? There's another one. Landed in Seattle. Seattle's way out of the way. It's like 1,000 miles out of the way.
Mm.
But on a flat Earth map, it's not. It's right there. It's in line. Okay. How many times? You know, well, they went out of the way because there was no available airports. You know, the airports are very busy. Well, how come every time that happens, the airport that they end up going to is on the line on a flat Earth? Right? Exactly.
Yeah. And why don't they ever fly for like we fly over oceans, Dave, like every day for hours and hours. Like I've flown around the world many times, mate, and we fly around over water for, and if you crashed, you're gone. So their excuse for not going over Antarctica is because it's so remote. So the same thing applies if we were flying over Antarctica. Like, yeah, it'd be a remote on their model, but why? Like, as we know, fuel, they've got to pay for fuel. It'd be the shortest route. Why aren't they taking that route?
Do they have to pay for fuel? We'll see about that.
Yeah, that's it.
There's also other islands like Easter Island. There's other places they could land out here. There's not just nothing out here. There's other islands. Go look at Google Earth. Okay. They say it's too cold. Bullshit. Okay. Bullshit. Right. So I always say, if you want to end this debate, end it. We could end it in one day. Get 2 airplanes. Go here. You and I get on there. We get Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor, Bill Nye, the line guy with the bow tie. We'll get some college professors on there. We'll get all the globe debunkers on there who won't show up because they're pussies. And one plane flies around this way so we can see the shoreline, fly like 1,000 feet. This way you can visually see the land. You can feel the speed that you're going because you can see the land. Like if you're flying and you can't see anything, you could be going twice the speed and you wouldn't know it. But if you can see the land, you're 1,000 feet, you've been in airplanes, you're like, yeah, we're going about 550 miles an hour. Okay. One plane flies this way, one plane flies this way, 13,000 miles, 7,000 miles later, 6,500 miles. Both planes should meet over here. But as you know, it doesn't happen that way because it's a much longer trip. Where's my hold on, I'm on the wrong page here. It's a much longer
Yeah,
trip.
that's right. And that's what James Cook, Captain James Cook, the
There it
Australian.
is.
Yeah.
It took him over 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. You got to remember the equator, which is right here, is supposedly only 24,000 miles. And I'm starting to think, you know what? I think it's shorter. I think it's 21,000 miles, right? But we have no way of measuring it. And he went all the way around. No, they'll never let us do that. It'll be over in a day. All of these signs are, it's a shame. Flat earthers are ruining education. Kids, they're dangerous. They're terrorists. They're whatever. Let's end it in one day. We'll do a GoFundMe. We don't even need it. We need 2 airplanes. There's airplanes going everywhere. That could be funded in a day.
That's it.
Right?
Or some boats. Just do the same thing with some boats.
You can't do it. You can't because the boats. Well, it won't work because the boats. Took Captain Cook 3.5 years. Okay. And so an airplane could do it pretty damn fast.
Oh,
We can
okay.
do it. We
Yeah,
can do it in a number of hours, right? And because you can see the land the whole time. You don't have to worry. Like if you wanted to sail around Antarctica and have it in view, you got icebergs, you got all sorts of conditions, you got currents, in the air. Boom, it's right there. Both planes, nice and smooth around.
Yep.
Never going to happen.
That one back. That's for sure.
It'd be over.
Yeah, get up there.
Game over.
Yep.
Game over.
Yep.
Right? Game over.
Yeah.
And all of the companies that you can book Antarctic vacations, right? Where they don't let you go on Antarctica. They keep you on the boat and they show you some ice and penguins.
Yep. And
all of the companies, I heard now that I used to think there was only 15. I heard there's close to 100. They're all owned by the same guy.
Yeah.
Why does one guy control all of the bookings?
Yeah.
To Antarctica. Are they hiding something?
Very expensive to go there. I knew a guy that I met him, he was a brain surgeon actually, but he went to Antarctica. I think I've said this before, but mate, while we're talking about it, he went there and he was quite disappointed because he just went to, a little, it was like, certainly wasn't a landmass, and just see a few penguins and just off a peninsula, who knows where they're taking you, huh?
Who knows where they're taking you? They're probably taking you to, the one outer island there or that peninsula, but they don't let you explore the land. Yeah.
And a lot of people, mate, when I bring up like, what's the longest treaty known to man? And they go, what are you talking about? And what a coincidence that all countries agreed on the Antarctic Treaty. And as Admiral Byrd says, there's untapped resources down there or out there. And God knows what else.
Well, excuse me.
Let it out, brother.
Admiral Byrd was a Freemason. He was in the government. Who knows if he really did everything he said? I believe my opinion is that he leaked the information a little faster than they wanted before they realized, hey, we need to keep this quiet. It's also possible that they wanted him to. The whole revelation of the method thing, where they always have to tell us what's going on, right? So either way, very interesting.
Yeah, it's just, mate, have you seen those videos of the one where there's a reflection, they're looking at the moon and it looks like a reflection of the earth into the moon, and then he goes real close and then he finds like Tartarian, it looks like Disneyland is actually the city in further out on the realm that's being reflected onto the moon. Have you seen that at all? It's pretty crazy stuff.
You're talking about the Warnon, right? The Warnon videos. This one, the moon map. So this is our world. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a different video, but the same sort of message, mate. Oh, sorry.
I think the name of that's there's a channel called.
He's a foreign guy.
Yeah. Sturgis. I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, it's the same thing where the moon is a map. Now listen, a lot of people, this has causes lots of controversy, this topic right here. I think there's something to it. It's not exactly, like there's some stuff like that's a kind of a reach. Like where I always look at it and go, where's Florida? Florida is really a distinct shape and we can kind of prove its shape. And I don't see it. But again, I don't know. There's too many similarities. This stuff might be literally connected, like these shapes on the moon help the physical form here, exist. I don't know. It's way beyond my ability to understand. I love the Warnon stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I recommend anybody that's looking into this to go into it. In the app, if you just hit the web button, top right here, boom. Warnon, all of his videos. The first one is the 5-hour one.
Yeah.
5-hour video. I'm like, I'm not watching that. And then finally one night, 11 p.m., I was like, let me just turn it on while I finish up some stuff. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. and my head exploded. Okay. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, part one.
Yeah. And I've watched it probably 4 times since then. So again, in this truth seeking, here's what flat earthers know. We know that we don't know everything. Globers think they know everything and they know nothing. Okay. And here's the thing. Someone says, the whole moon map thing. My answer is, that's really interesting. You got show me some more, right? Show me some more, right? And someone says, I think there was a worldwide mud flood at the same time. I'm like, wow, show me more information. Because there's no doubt there was a mud flood. Was it regional? Was it God-made? Was it man-made? Was it part of a cycle? I don't know. But there's no question that, was it a mud flood or did buildings melt? Okay, have you looked into meltology?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? But and I have a shout out to Jerry from When the Buildings Cried channel. Love his stuff, but he says all mountains are buildings, are melted red brick buildings. I don't buy it. Right? I don't buy it because I think some mountains are trees. I think some mountains are animals, and I think some mountains are just mountains. Okay, but he's not wrong on lots of these plateaus and stuff. There's buildings. They're made of buildings. Okay. Like, what was this place? Here's something I've thrown out there. Tell me what you think about this. And again, this is me. I'm trying to figure it out. We don't know the answer. So
not knowing's okay with me, bro.
Of course, there's a creator, right? There's a creator.
That's it.
There's a creator. Okay. So he made this earth. Pretty amazing, right?
I agree.
Now, what kind of creator would he be if he didn't throw down some infrastructure for us, right? Why not? Like, if you're going to create the earth, how about give us some amazing infrastructure, some pyramids, some kingdoms, some stuff with superb tech that we can't even fathom today.
A grid to work with, perhaps?
A grid, a natural, energetic grid. Why would you create this place and not throw down infrastructure that shows how awesome it is? These God-created kingdoms.
Ooh,
okay?
Man.
And then then it's possible that he destroyed it, that the devil destroyed it, that humans destroyed it, that giants destroyed it. I don't know. We try to figure that out. But what's wrong with the idea that part of the original creation had some infrastructure? I wonder if there's anything in the Bible about that. And again, I'm not the Bible guy, but it's interesting. Like, is there anything that says God created the earth and he didn't create any buildings, right? Or maybe there's some stuff in there that talks about, like, I gotta ask a Bible guy. Maybe, when he talks about the so-and-so kingdoms, well, where did the kingdom come from? Did the primitive man, Adam and Eve's kids, make it? Okay, or did he lay down like if you've looked into Tataria, of course, because you had Campbell on Autodidactic, and this technology and the waterways and, Angkor Wat and all of these places. I'm not saying aliens. I'm saying this was created for us. That's my hypothesis. How's that?
Man, it sounds good to me, brother. I'm on board with that, and I just love to.
As a possibility, don't buy it. Don't say that's the way it
Yeah,
was. It's a possibility, and I would love to have more discussion about it.
yeah, and that's the thing we should be doing, mate, is discussing it. Mate, I do a couple of videos where I go down my local beach here in Noosa, and man, there's melted buildings on the beach, and I show it quite clearly, and just amazing brickwork in the water, you know. And we're told, it just makes me laugh, bro. It's people getting their head around that everything's a lie, man. It's a big one, but I knew from 5 years old, I knew from a young age that something was up, you know.
Yeah. It's
And
it's the one thing. Here's the thing. We're not sure what this realm is. We're not sure how, when it was created, what was created. We are sure that it's level. We are sure that it's not moving, and
that's
we are
it.
sure it's not a ball. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. From there, let's figure out the rest. But we're not a ball spinning through space. We're at the center of creation. We have incredible powers. Our minds are manifesting machines, and they don't want us to know that. The elite are petrified of our minds. That's why they keep us in fear and they keep us poisoned and they keep us, all these different things. Because if we all, and they keep us separated every possible way.
Yeah.
They don't want us communicating, signs and symbols and numbers and rule the world, but they want us not knowing that. They want us not knowing that our thoughts create our reality. Everything you have in your life is because of the way you think. Every single person listening, that the reason the patterns that happen in your life is because of the way that you think. They'll happen again and again and again until you, if you want to, change the way that you think.
Yeah, very good point, mate. And our pineal glands, it's just this magic wonder in our heads that, if you cut that, you do a cross section of the human skull, it's that eye of Horus, which is depicted in Egyptian, symbology and artifacts, and a lot of,
Our pineal glands need fluoride, though. We must keep them fluoridated. Okay. All right. Because if they have too much flexibility in water, they might start connecting to other information out there. Then maybe all the information in the world is there and we've just been cut off from it. I look at, like you've heard of the Akashic records. I'm a believer in something like the Akashic records where all the information is being broadcast to us all the time. I mean, look at the shamans in the jungles. How did they know that this vine goes with this leaf to create ayahuasca, right? How did they know? Like, it doesn't work without the two together, okay? And they got the information from the Akashic records, right? And I've met a guy in Mexico just recently who got information from the Akashic records how to build some super cool technology, Tesla tech, and he says it's all there for everybody, but we've been cut off from it. I mean, it's literally like, I would say it's like the internet, but I think the internet is doing it unjust. Like the internet isn't even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what the Akashic records is. But imagine we have the whole world today. Everyone has access to everything. Let's pretend everything's cool. Everything's good. And then all of a sudden, you know what? We're just turning off the internet. And people were like, whoa, how do we figure all the information's gone? Everything we want is gone. All the communication's gone, right? We used to have communication, information, everything without all of this tech. This tech is limiting us. Now, for us, it's helping us because this is all we have. But maybe if we didn't have all of this tech, we would start getting back some of that natural ability.
Yeah, and when you talk about that natural ability, mate, we're talking about the electromagnetic energy. And it's, they're still utilizing a little bit through the Ethernet. I love it how they put the back of your computer, they're plugging in the Ethernet cable that you'll find. Little hints like that.
Yeah.
And mate, these these buildings, these ancient lots, they've got so much to hide. You know, Michelle Gibson's work, I've mentioned her a lot, mate. She talks about 110 years of preparation before letting, the new, what would you call it, the society, the new, when colonization began around the world, 110 years, mate, and then it's all there for us, though. The Freemasons with their collecting their Freemasonry. There's Freemason buildings in every town, in every village, in every.
I think this deception is less than 100 years old. Less than 100 years old. They were teaching flat Earth into the 1950s and 60s. Okay, and people have just forgotten about it. They've literally Mandelaed it right out of our consciousness. Right?
Yeah.
This whole thing, this whole thing that's going on right now, the same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. The question is, will we reach mass consciousness and will we wake people up? That's why, Dave, with all the crap that's going on in the world, why are you talking about flat Earth? I'm like, because if you're spinning out of control, lost in space, you don't know who you are, where you are, what you are, how will you ever see anything else? This is how they get away with it. But, and you know this, every flat earther that you've met, awake, aware, on it, knows what's going on, gets it.
Yeah. It's just a brotherhood, man, I find. Just that knowledge, that connection. It's like your pineal glands are just open. We're vibrating at that frequency, get each other. It's amazing. I love it.
And I forgot, did you say that you have you used the app to find people?
You have, mate. Yeah. I've just got a new phone, but my son's got it on his phone, and he maybe have a look, see if you can find us in Karoi, Queensland.
So where are you?
We're in Karoi.
So where? Tell me where. In, out. Here, I'll zoom out.
So I'm sort of about 2/3 of the way up, brother. And you
like here?
Yeah, if you go into go into there. Let me see if it's hard to sort of see really well here from here, but
here, let me change the color.
Every time I talk, it goes back to my
it says Queensland.
That's it.
Emerald, Blackwater.
Yeah, it's not. Go inland a bit, back, sorry, towards the coast.
Towards the coast.
That's east.
Rock.
Oh. So you want sort of Brisbane. Brisbane's a city near me. But
all right. I mean, we need some more flat earthers down there for sure.
Yeah, it's a regional area, mate. There's not much where I am.
They're spreading out. We're getting there. We're getting people. We're going to get more and more.
That looks nice.
Yeah, we got a lot up here. I mean, within 50 kilometers, I have 290 within 50 kilometers of me.
Yeah, man, I'm spreading the word here, bro. Everyone thinks I'm a lunatic. Lost the family.
You lost the whole family? That's sad. Well, my brother and sister don't talk to me, so that's fine.
Mate, I've heard you say in interviews, actually. I've listened to a lot of your work, bro, because I can't get enough of it, bro. And I just...
Isn't it amazing, the thirst for information once you see this? Hey, how long have you been a flat earther?
About 6-7 years now, bro.
Have you been bored for a single minute in the last 6 or 7 years?
I never, ever.
Never can be bored. Never. No. Because there is not enough time to see. Like I like, oh, that looks like a great video. Can't watch it. Don't have time. Right. So there's so much information. That's the other thing. Like I look at normies, we'll call them that. What do they talk about? Sports, weather, politics. They're friggin' paddleball game. The gardening. Well, barely. Yeah. They don't garden. They're normies. They don't garden. They go to the grocery store. Okay.
Man,
it's so interesting. Have you been to any meetups or anything? Do you have been to any flat Earth gatherings?
Mate, I've been to a couple around here, because Santos and I were sort of neighbors for a bit. So
I was just with Santos in Mexico just a couple weeks ago.
Awesome, man. I'm so glad. Yeah, it was nice to. Yeah, they said that you were down there, and I saw some video of you down there. And
yeah.
Did you enjoy your time there, bro?
I'm going to move there. Are you kidding me? I'm going to live there
Yeah,
for at least 6 months a year.
yeah,
So
man. Okay, well, that's,
I'm
mate, my
going to live
boys
there
and
right,
I, yeah,
right near Santos.
I'd love to get down there, bro. He's like my long lost brother, bro. When we're good buds, bro. And he's how, like, I just love it how off his vids you don't get what he's really like when you're with him. He's so hospitable, gentleman, just a
He's
beautiful dude.
funny. He's good. It's such a,
Yeah,
yeah, it's such an amazing place. Now it gets really hot there in the summer, so I'd love to live here in the summer and there
that's
in the
right.
winter.
Yep.
And if shit keeps going sideways, I'll live there all year long because I won't freeze to death out there.
Yeah, man, I would love to do the same. Just I could happily pack up and leave this shithole. It's certainly
It's certainly inexpensive. I mean, it's unbelievable. In Mexico, you can get you know you can get a 1 bedroom apartment right in town for like $300 a month.
yeah.
200 American.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
And eat really well. And
Yeah, food's
actually probably,
good.
yeah, probably even be able to afford a little chef to come in, do a
Yeah,
bit of cooking.
that's what Daniel does. It'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah, man. What and oh, be just and it could, but the good thing is it could happen, mate. How you know,
I am foreseeing a huge flat earther population in Puerto Morelos in the next couple of years if we're all alive. Gotta add that these days, right? I mean, you didn't have to a couple of years ago, but now, it's a caveat if we're all alive.
Oh wow, man. I'm living in denial.
Yeah, it's all right.
I just got to live my days being happy, bro.
That
But, it's all I try to
that's it.
do.
I think the world is gonna switch into two factions: the people that fell for it and the people that didn't.
Yeah. Well, we're nearly there, mate. I think, you know, and what I want to do is just keep spreading this awesome truth, bro. I think there's a real thirst. I think the big mainstream corporate media, their time's up, and people who are awake are thirsting for the knowledge, mate. That's why I call my channel Truth Hurts, mate. Unfortunately, the truth hurts, but you've got to get over it. They got to, like you say,
This is awesome. It's
put on their
fascinating.
put on their big boy pants and just put down the dummy, put down the bot, get off mummy's
And
feet.
and for those family members and friends that aren't ready, that's their journey. Let them have it. You don't you you're not going to do well with them, so let them have their journey and eventually they'll see it and they'll come back and that's okay. Might be a year, might be 10 years, could be never, but that's their journey.
Yeah.
And I tell people, you know, um the best way, everybody walks around with the friggin' phone in their hand. Okay. It's a curse and a tool.
Mm,
So if you have the app in your hand every day, you get the daily video. And I tell people just watch the daily video. And anybody that does that for 2 weeks, they become flat earthers.
that's it, man. And it's undeniable. Mate, who who created this place?
Who created the world?
Who created? We know there's a creator.
I know, but I'm not allowed to tell.
Isn't it interesting, bro? Wow. I just not knowing is part of the journey. I'm
I
happy.
I I think it's amazing, and I think we are all part. We are. I mean, I don't think we're all part of this creation. Our souls, our spark of the creator, our piece of the creator. So the creator's pretty cool. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put pieces of me in all of these people and experience everything. That's cool. How that all came to be, that's not my department. But I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm part of it. I'm
Yep.
doing my job. Um, who
And
made me? I'm not the leader of flat earth, but I am the loudest spoken right now. So who put me in this position? I did. Nobody
that's
told me
it.
what to do. I did it. I did it. You know why? Because I love doing what I love doing.
That's it, man.
Okay. So
Doing a fantastic job, brother.
I
Yeah.
created my world and I'm still creating it. And it's really speeding up and it's super fun. And I'm trying to bring as many people with me as possible. Everybody.
Yeah, man. And I just love your work, bro. you know, I'm on board with all the stuff, you know, we talk about is just amazing. Tartaria, you know, how it all ties into this model, the geocentric model. I can't get enough of it. And mate, yeah, can you explain, Dave, how, mate, you became a geocentrist? And, you know, like, because I know that at first, see, a lot of people just get it. Some people, it was a bit of a like, no, no, no. So for you, it was a little bit more tough to swallow, would you say, Ben?
No, well, I don't think it was any more tough for me. I was looking into, deceptions that people don't want to admit are true, like the New York thing that happened. And I started seeing through all those things. And then Flat Earth came up and I refused to even look. I was brainwashed. I was like, you're an idiot. You're banned from our social media. Go die. I'm not watching your stupid video. But then my friend Sophia Smallstorm, she told me she thinks the Earth might be flat. Watch these videos, and she sent me Mark Sargent's Clues, and then Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs,
Yep, that's a good starter.
and that was it. And then for a couple weeks, I tried to disprove the flat Earth and prove the globe, and that's how you become a flat earther. I mean, I went in. I would say, if you want to investigate something, you go in with an open mind. All right, let's take a look. I went in with a closed mind. Of course, the Earth is a globe. Flat Earth is stupid.
Yep,
Let's prove it. And here I am.
that's it. And here you are. That's what
That's
happens,
it.
mate. And it's funny how I've met some people who have gone, you know, full geocentric, full flat earther, and then they go back. It's like, what? There actually has been, or they just deny it, I should say. I think it's a little,
They're
the
weak.
confrontation.
They're weak. They're egos. They're scared,
Yeah,
and they just go back into their fake world. Very, very, very few people do that. You know,
yeah,
and some people are just children. So, but the number of people is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of one.
yeah, man. You just think of, but what we're dealing with here, mate. They're like a society of, I can't believe how dumbed down humans are. It's quite incredible. Um, on all levels, you know, and this vibration that, you know, you talk about a conscious shift. It's a shift in vibration that we're talking about. And
Yeah.
yeah, and this frequency's got to change, mate. So
Well, the way we change the frequency is we get more and more people together, working together, waking up more people. And right now, we have an opportunity to wake up people. Okay. And uh, like it or not, my app seems to be the best way right now to wake people up super fast. Right. So I'm actually making addition to the app a way where you can keep track of the number of people that are downloading the app based on you. Like you'll have a referral code, and there's gonna be some fun stuff I'm adding to the app because the fast like before, if there was only 20 flat earthers and we woke up 20 flat earthers woke up one person a week, well, it'd take 20 weeks before we had 40. But now there's so many that that is just geometrically expanding.
that's cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. So
Makes me happy.
yeah,
Yeah, and there's a lot that are just too far gone, though, mate. That'll never get it, and
yep.
that's okay. Like you said,
Some of them will never wake up. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. You can find me if you want to find my website, want to find my app, my YouTube channel, which is DITRH right over here. Short videos, my interviews. They're all linked on flatearthdave.com. Links to the app are there. And if you have a show, especially that is non-flat Earth, there's a link there to book me.
Cool, brother. Well, mate, I could talk flat earth all day. Look, maybe we'll have another chat if you got some time down the track a bit, mate. I've got, there's just, it's endless. You could go on. And I know this is what your third for the day. So, mate, thank you for having you on board today, bro. And you're welcome anytime. And yeah, man. And perhaps if you ever want to do a show with Campbell and myself, I know he'd be pumped. So
I've did a couple shows with Campbell recently. We're on the SGT report together.
awesome.
But anytime, just let me know.
Cool, bro. Awesome. Yeah, do a bit of totalitarian stuff with you. That'd be great.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
Well, enjoy your evening there and namaste.
Good day to you.
Yeah. Cheers, brother. Good night. Good evening.
All right, man. Thanks. See you.
Thanks, brother.